Hello, this is the Channel 1 Newsroom, broadcasting live from our studios at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tessanal here in Accra. I am Charles Osukumi. Coming up. Former board chairman of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Paul Adom-Otchere, released after meeting revised bill terms in OSP probe. Also coming up, government threatens to suspend multi-choice license over DSTV pricing dispute.
I wrote back to the NCA on Monday and directed the NCA in that letter to suspend the broadcasting license of DSTV effective 7th of August 2025 if they fail to effect a reduction in their bundle prices.
Frustration mounts at Achimota Hospital over delays and unprofessional conduct.
Delay when they get here. The number of hours they will spend here was one of the major issues I identified.
And later on the Channel 1 Newsroom, heightened security in Askori Mampong and Aswase after deadly shootings.
All right, now what we want is they should maintain the distance checkpoints. It is not supposed to be 1 month, 1 week or 2 weeks. They have to continuously doing it.
In Channel 1 Business, government reopens talks with PayPal to secure full access for Ghanaians. On sports. National Sports Authority assures swift action to restore Babayara Stadium ahead of CAF competitions. Grateful to you for choosing the Channel 1 Newsroom. Here now are the details of our stories. And the former board chairman of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Paul Adom-Otchere, has been released from the custody of the Office of the Special Prosecutor following the approval of revised bail conditions after negotiations with his legal team. In a statement issued on Friday, August 1, the Special Prosecutor confirmed that the new terms satisfy the objectives of the original bail conditions, which require the suspect to present 2 landed properties of no specific value registered in his name. According to the Special Prosecutor, the revised terms have been secured by the Jospon Group of companies. There is more in the following report.
Former board chairman of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, that's GACL, Paul Adom-Otchere's release from the OSP's custody follows the approval of revised bail conditions, which according to the OSP were secured by the Jospon Group of companies. The office, in a statement issued on August 1, however, emphasized that the matter remains under active investigation. The Special Prosecutor, Kisi Ajaben, had earlier responded to public concerns over the initial bail conditions during a media engagement.
The OSP as a suspect, and you say you do not have any landed property, you can't bail yourself, you don't have any landed property. We won't fit the value of them. Bring what you have. And it is also to encourage you not to run, because if you run away, that property will be confiscated to the state. So it is to encourage you to show up. So if you do not do that and you say you don't have anything, you have placed yourself on the state. Anything the state finds standing in your name is confiscated.
Paul Adom-Otchere is being investigated over a revenue assurance contract awarded by GACL to a private firm, allegedly without full board approval. Meanwhile, the Ghana Airports Company Limited has since announced the termination of the said contract.
For more on this story, we are joined in studio by one of the lawyers for Paul Adom-Otchere Nucleus Learning, Anani Ejay. I'm grateful to you, counsel, for joining us here on the Channel One Newsroom. I mean, Kisi Ajabe, he looks a tough customer. So how did you get him to agree to the revised bill terms?
Well, a very good evening to your listeners and viewers, and then thanks for having me to here this evening. I mean, as we've maintained since yesterday, the grant of bail by law enforcement has always been for one purpose and sole purpose, to secure the attendance of an accused person or a suspect. And so Kisi Ajabe himself knows that his duty when it comes to the grant of bail is to see what circumstances or conditions would warrant the person coming to stand for interviews or investigations. And so today, the arguments we made yesterday, which was that the condition of requiring him to provide 2 landed properties in his name was unreasonable in the circumstance, is the same point we urged on him today. And I believe strongly that given that many people reacted to the requirement that he should provide 2 landed properties, all of that may have gone to weigh on his mind to make a different decision. We strongly believe that we should not have gotten there in the first place, because it cannot be that a person's ability to post bail is tied to their possession of property. It is unreasonable. It cannot be in the circumstance.
What are these revised terms now, and how did Jospon come into the picture?
So today, the revised terms was that Mr. Adom-Otchere should provide 1 third-party surety with any landed property. What that meant was that the requirement for the 2 landed properties to be in his name had been dropped by the OSP, and also for 2 public servants had been dropped by the OSP. Now, after he agreed to that, we urged on him that we know Mr. Adom-Otchere to be an employee of Metro TV, and a corporate guarantee, which is a company, is much more stronger, because the company, as we know, sits here, is unlikely to abscond, and it's not easy for a company to pack bag and baggage and stop operations and run away. And so he agreed to that, and because Metro TV forms part of the Jospon group of companies, that is how the Jospon group of companies came to be the guarantor, and then they provided the landed property requested by Mr. Ajabe.
Now, Paul himself, I mean, he's a tough guy, but how is he processing this? And does he feel that someone is out to get him?
I mean, given Paul's vast experience in the public space and then public service and journalism, I believe that this is not a new experience to him. And when I met him, he's still in high spirit. And as he's always maintained, in his view, this whole happening is an orchestration to witch hunting. But we take the view that law enforcement is entitled to investigate acts when they think that something has gone wrong. However, in the process of that investigation, they must abide by due process and the tenets of the Constitution. And so while they had the power to impose bail conditions, that power must be exercised having in mind Article 296. It must be exercised candidly and fairly, without capriciousness, without arbitrariness, without any resentment. And so having told the OSP that I do not own landed properties, and then shortly after that he says, give me 2, else I won't let you go home. It raises the question of whether or not indeed that discretion was being exercised reasonably. And for me, the position and happening today vindicates our position yesterday, that if the OSP today deems it that with 1 surety and any landed property, Mr. Adom-Otchere would appear to stand investigation or further interviews, why could that decision not have been made yesterday? Why the insistence yesterday that if you don't bring those 2, you are not going home? So we live to see.
Now, we're told that after he was released, he was then recalled into the office of the special prosecutor. Walk us through what exactly happened and why he was recalled.
So after the execution processes were done, the OSP indicated that they were unable to release Mr. Adom-Otchere in their premises. And so they asked his lawyers to indicate where the lawyers want him released to. And so the former Attorney General, Mr. Godfred Yeboah-Dame, indicated that he had no objection having Mr. Adom-Otchere released in his office, Dame and partners. Now, while on their way to the office, they received a call and were informed that the security agents going with Mr. Adom-Otchere and Mr. Dame had been recalled back to the office of the special prosecutor. No explanations were given, no reasons were given. And after going back for about 2 hours, they released them again and they all went back to Mr. Dame's office, where eventually Paul was released. So we do not know what specifically warranted the callback of Mr. Adom-Otchere to the office of the special prosecutor, save that we are grateful that he's finally been released and he's home.
Now, yesterday there were confusing reports where he was being kept. Do we know exactly where he was? and how he was treated in custody?
So we cannot say for sure where he was, because after we parted ways at the premises of the special prosecutor, there were different cars of the agents, and before we realized they had gone different ways. We went to the headquarters of the National Security. We were told he was not there. But deep in the night, we were informed he was at one of their facilities around Kalkudi, thereabout. But we cannot, till now, say for sure that that is where he was, save that that was the reports we had.
Has he been formally charged now?
No. Mr. Adom-Otchere has not been formally charged with any offense known under our criminal laws. What the OSP did was to caution him, which is to say that we are investigating you for some suspected offenses. And eventually, when that investigation concludes, and then we feel strongly that we have enough evidence to prosecute you, we would charge you. But for now, he has only been cautioned, and no charges have been preferred against Mr. Adom-Otchere.
So is he expected to be, reporting to the OSP?
Yes, as standard practice, he is expected to report once a week, and as and when the OSP requires him for any further interviews.
Now, the OSP says that, if you say you don't have any landed property, you are inviting the state to conduct investigations into your affairs and all of that. Do you see any merit in this?
For me, I think that betrays the intention of the OSP. Because if your intention was really to commence an investigation into whether Mr. Adom-Otchere owned landed property or not, you could have done that without using that as a precondition for his bail. Because what the OSP essentially is saying is that as an investigative body, if you disbelieve a suspect on something he says, you investigate and find contrary evidence. But to say that in order to get you to work, I am tying your liberty to you producing what you say you don't have, that especially cannot be accepted, especially when bail is not intended to punish the person, but it's only meant to secure his appearance. And that is where we differ strongly with the OSP, that in that bit of exercise of discretion, we think that it fell short of the standards of Article 296.
Now, this contract in question, we're told that the airports company has since cancelled it. What is the opinion of their legal team on this move by the airports company?
Well, Charles, I'm sure, as you well know, in the many years of our criminal jurisprudence, an accused or a suspect is not required to prove anything. And so for us, we think that if the managing director says the contract has been terminated and no payments were made to the company, it goes to underscore or perhaps review reports that have suggested that some monies have been paid. We wait to see that since the OSP says it is investigating, it should investigate. When it concludes, we would be here to see the outcomes of it.
Now, finally,
yes.
When Paul sits behind the microphone on the next edition of Good Evening Ghana, I'm sure you have a strong edge to make some commentary on this matter. Would you advise him to do so?
Well, I think as a journalist, he has done it for others who have been brought before law enforcement, even when the matters do not concern him. Right. He has always sought to put out the facts as he knows them. And so in this case, if it involves him and he knows the facts as he has them, I think it is not out of place for him to put them out there, especially so that the public themselves can make a decision on whether these happenings related to invitations that turn into arrest or directions that turn into arrest and detention are fair. So I think he owes it a God-given duty to inform the public on the facts related to the matters under contention as he knows it.
Grateful to you, counsel. Nicholas Lenin Anane-Ejei is one of the lawyers for Paul Adom-Otchere. Now, away from that story, patients at the Adom-Otchere Municipal Hospital have expressed deep frustration over prolonged consultation delays and what they describe as unprofessional conduct by some health workers. Now, these concerns came to the fore during a surprise inspection by Health Minister Kwabena Mintah-Kandor to health facilities across the Greater Accra region. Channel 1 News' Manuel Ayama accompanied the minister and has filed this report.
A routine day at the Adom-Otchere Municipal Hospital turned into a moment of reckoning when Health Minister Kwabena Mintah-Kandor made an unannounced visit to assess operations at the facility. His disappointment was immediate. Senior administrators, including the medical superintendent and hospital administrator, were all absent.
You can be alternating. If the head is not there, the assistant is there, or coordinator is at post. But if you ask of this person is not there, you ask of this person is not there. So who is in control? Don't do that. You don't put all programs and then you say that the data is also not well.
Patients took the opportunity to express their frustrations. Chief among them were excessive delays in consultations and unprofessional conduct by some members of staff. After a closed-door meeting with a few available management officials, the minister addressed the media, promising swift action to resolve the issues, especially the delays in consultations.
When they get here, the number of hours they will spend here was one of the major issues I identified. Delay. Some people tell me they were here as early as 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and as I speak to you now, it's 11 and they are still here. They've not been attended to. We have spoken and had lengthy discussions about this matter, and I'm very sure that after leaving here, they will improve upon it.
The tour continued to the Ganoth Municipal Hospital, where challenges around data integration and staff management at the laboratory came to light.
The data entry also takes a lot of time. That's one thing that takes a lot of time. Yes, we do it manually. So when you're able to configure it, as soon as you do the ABC, it gives you a result.
We are going to go the EPP way. That is government direction on retooling. So anybody listening to me, if you are interested, we have directed at all hospitals and the Director General my Director of PPP arrangement with the ministry. It is not as if we are privatizing the government health facilities. No.
Now, the minister's visit to some health facilities in the Greater Accra region revealed issues such as delays in consultations, administrative inefficiencies, and of course, management problems. But while assuring management that their concerns would be addressed by government, the minister also called on management to fulfill its responsibilities. Reporting from the Ganoth Municipal Hospital in Accra, I am Manuel Ayama.
Now, the Ministry of Communications is set to suspend the broadcasting license of MultiChoice in Ghana on the 7th of August 2025 if the broadcaster fails to reduce its DSTV bundle prices. The directive follows a 9-page letter the ministry says it received from MultiChoice justifying its refusal to reduce prices despite the recent appreciation of the Ghana cedi. Now, speaking at the Government Accountability Series, the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations, Samuel Nate George, described the reasoning as unacceptable. Adom-Otchere reports.
According to the minister, after its crucial meeting with MultiChoice Ghana over its subscription prices, company has reportedly argued that the cedi's gains are not sustainable, but the sector minister disagrees with the position of MultiChoice.
My fidelity is to the Ghanaian people. I have had to act in the interest of the Ghanaian people. And I believe that the Ghanaian people have been fleeced and exploited for too long. I wrote back to the NCA on Monday and directed the NCA in that letter to suspend the broadcasting license of DSTV effective 7th of August 2025 if they fail to effect a reduction in their bundle prices. I cannot, as minister, serving the Ghanaian people, continue to watch what can best be described as plain stealing happening to the Ghanaian people. In my letter to them, I gave them scenarios from 7 markets that DSTV is operating in. The same content in the premium bouquet that is offered to Ghanaians for $83 equivalent is offered to Nigerians for $29 equivalent. How can anyone explain this price disparity to me?
On fast depleting mobile data, the minister insists that action will only be taken when complaints are backed by clear evidence. Meanwhile, as NextGen prepares to commence full commercial 5G operations this year, it has been tasked with fulfilling all requirements.
As of today, NGIC has deployed 16 5G-ready sites and received full NCA approval for its core network infrastructure. I've also indicated in my last briefing that failure by NGIC to roll out full commercial activities by end of Q4 this year will lead to me terminating the terms of that contract, taking away the exclusivity clause in there and opening it up for fresh negotiations.
Also, the National Communications Authority has been given a deadline to address unpleasant content, copyright infringements within the broadcasting space.
The NMC has always complained that they don't have capacity. We have built capacity as the NCA. But because by law we don't deal with content, we've made that available to the NMC. We record and store for at least 90 days every single broadcast in this country, both radio and TV. It comes at huge expense to us at the NCA. We could be using that money for something else, but we've put it at their disposal. If the NMC fails to fulfill their mandate of dealing with content, the NCA may be forced in the interest of public safety and morality to begin to take licensing action on the basis of unwholesome content that we are seeing.
Now to security matters in the Ashanti region, where there is heightened security presence and intensified patrols in parts of the Ade-Coker municipality and Aswasi following deadly shootings that claimed the lives of a local chief and a 60-year-old man. Now this follows a directive issued by the Ashanti Regional Security Council. Channel 1 News' Middle Belt Bureau Chief Hafiz Tijani has been monitoring the situation and filed the following report.
At the exact spot where a man was shot while returning to his vehicle from a local eatery last Friday, armed police officers have now mounted permanent checkpoints on high alert to prevent any escalation. Motorbikes and unregistered vehicles thoroughly searched with particular scrutiny given to riders carrying backpacks. Law enforcement personnel are also ensuring compliance with road safety regulations. Security officers, both police and military, are strictly enforcing the 7 p.m. curfew on the use of motorbikes in line with the Regional Security Council's directive. Residents have been reacting to the increased presence of security forces in Aswasi and across parts of the Ashanti region.
They are calm. So they are not really forcing you to do anything bad or something, yeah.
But are you used to seeing some of these checkpoints?
This is my first time seeing such situation in Kumasi. Like
that one is very good. Because recently in Ashanti here, and I was when I went to the Bantama, I think the company is doing well.
Though the assailants behind the recent killings remain at large, security agencies have impounded several motorbikes for non-compliance with the directives. There are also confirmed reports of weapon seizures in intelligence-led operations across the municipality. 1 week after the enforcement began, many residents are applauding the security efforts but are urging government to take bolder steps to curb the rising incidents of violence.
All right, now what we want is they should maintain that this checkpoints. It is not supposed to be 1 month, 1 week or 2 weeks. They have to continuously doing it.
Criminologist at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Jones Opokuwari, says while the patrols are necessary, the focus must shift towards swift investigative action.
So the prompt response to the investigation, the prompt response to arrest, and being able to respond to these murders and crimes as they happen is what makes the difference. And I'm thinking that the police over the period have been a bit lethargic.
He also warns that without addressing underlying factors, these temporary measures may not prevent future attacks.
Short to medium term, you should be able to contain the issue, but in the long term, there are very, very, very serious things on the ground, which I think that is the agencies of state, which I think even the government will have to come in and solve.
The situation is mirrored at other major intersections and strategic locations, with heightened vigilance becoming the new normal for now.
Inhabitants are urging the government and the security agencies to do more to curb these incidences. Hafiz Tijani, Channel 1 News, Kumasi, Ashanti region.
Now to Parliament, where the majority has revealed that more than 1,000 excavators have been grounded at the Tema port due to the inability of their owners to provide adequate justification for their importation. Additionally, 425 excavators have been seized from illegal mining sites across the country as part of the government's intensified efforts to combat illegal mining activities. In his concluding remarks before the House adjourned, Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga asserted that the current NDC government's interventions in addressing illegal mining surpass those of the previous administration. Channel 1 News' parliamentary correspondent Ade-Coker has more in this report.
The leadership of Parliament on Friday made concluding remarks ahead of the adjournment of the House indefinitely. Now, in his remarks, the Majority Leader Mahama Ayariga touted the successes of the Mahama government in clamping down on illegal mining activities, also known as galamsey. He stated that over 1,000 excavators have been impounded at the Tema port due to the inability of their owners to provide justification for their importation.
Over 1,000 excavators are being held at the port. Over 1,000 excavators are being held at the port. And there's a coordinated work between the Minerals Commission, DVLA, and Customs. And now, when you import an excavator, you will have to justify the reason for the importation. Because many of them cannot justify the importation of the excavators, we have over 1,000 excavators held up at the port. So the fight against illegal mining and galamsey is continuing, unabated.
However, the Minority Leader Alexander Honyomakin says the situation has worsened under the Mahama administration within the last 7 months.
This government has become a tragedy before our very eyes. There's a complete breakdown of the fight against illegal mining. Galamsey is now worse. This government has completely failed in its fight against galamsey. Yet those who promised to end galamsey, as soon as they are voted into office, have become the chief enablers.
The Minority Leader also raised concerns about the bail conditions set by investigative agencies for former government appointees who are being investigated for various corrupt practices. He stated that such persecutions must come to an end.
Mr. Speaker, today we see Iyoko granting bail with onerous conditions. Suspects are being demanded to provide title documents, valued title documents, and it is done such that the person will remain days in custody. Mr. Speaker, we have to watch some of these. It is time to end the bitterness, the revenge, and the pain. We are a country of one people.
The House also ratified a 1-year transitional mining agreement between the government of Ghana and the Aboso Goldfield Limited at Damine.
The Governor of Ghana has caused to be laid before Parliament through the Minister responsible for lands and natural resources a 1-year transitional mining lease agreement between the government of the Republic of Ghana and Aboso Goldfields Limited for the mining of a gold at Daman in the Wassa West District of the Western region without the option, and I emphasize, without the option of further extension, transfer, mortgage, or any other transaction after April 2026.
With this resolution, now we'll go to curtail and made it clear that the Goldfields cannot go beyond the 1 year. They cannot transfer it to a third party. And at the end of the day, it will come back to the state. And then the state will take a decision as to what we can now do for it.
The House has adjourned indefinitely. Reporting for Channel 1 News from Parliament, Ade-Coker.
The National Security Coordinator has identified chieftaincy-related disputes, illegal mining and the proliferation of weapons as major threats to national peace and stability. Speaking during an engagement with the National House of Chiefs, he appealed to traditional leaders to support efforts in tackling these challenges. President of the National House of Chiefs, Ade-Coker, II, in response, called on national security to act boldly by arresting politicians and chiefs involved in illegal mining, blaming them as key culprits. Channel 1 News' Ashanti regional correspondent Fatih Aminu Ibrahim has more in this report.
With Ghana's internal peace increasingly strained by land disputes, illegal mining and armed violence, the National Security Secretariat says it is rethinking its approach. Appearing before the National House of Chiefs, National Security Coordinator DCOP Osman Abdulrazak revealed that Ghana currently faces over 500 chieftains-related disputes, with 103 of them posing a direct threat to national peace, from the protracted conflict in Boko to gun-related incidents during traditional festivals. He said these tensions, coupled with the environmental distraction from illegal mining, require urgent and collective action. The coordinator urged chiefs to publicly condemn and help curb such practices, stressing that the Secretariat is now restructuring the country's security architecture through collaboration with traditional authorities and key partners.
The foundations upon which our peaceful coexistence are currently under threat. Your Royal Majesties, 3 critical challenges face our national security. These challenges, if you permit me to list, are chieftaincy, land, and ethnic disputes.
Responding to the call, President of the National House of Chiefs, Ade-Coker II, charged the national security to go beyond appeals and decisively arrest politicians and chiefs complicit in illegal mining. He alleged that individuals arrested for galamsey often name high-profile political figures as their backers, accusing successive administrations of shielding culprits.
When you arrest them, they tell you it's from Judbury House. It started from the old government, that's the MPP, and the current government. People are also doing it. I'm from the Western North. I'm talking on authority. They are involved. They are all over the place. Let us name.
Beyond illegal mining, Ade-Coker II raised concerns about the spate of road crashes, calling it a national security threat. The National Security Coordinator says his outfit is collaborating with the National House of Chiefs to tackle these issues that are threatening the country's peace. For Channel 1 News, I am Fatih Aminu Ibrahim, Ashanti region.
You're still watching the Channel 1 Newsroom here on Channel 1 TV. Still ahead. Government reopens talks with PayPal to secure full access for Ghanaians. We have details of that and others coming up shortly. Please don't go away.
Imagine walking into a secure environment you call your own, a home where you are in charge of your own security. But while you dream of a brighter future, shadows could be lurking at your doorsteps and windows. With real-time alerts and a professional response team ready to act, your home is protected around the clock, whether you're away or asleep. Don't wait for safety, create it. Installed by professionals, our systems integrate seamlessly into your home, guarding every nook and cranny. And with our rent-to-own plan, this unmatched security comes with no burdensome upfront cost. Enjoy your safety, payment at your own pace, and peace of mind. Plus, our theft guarantee protection ensures you're covered in case of any loss, giving you even more peace of mind. Secure your home with Home Shield. Make peaceful sleep a habit, knowing we stand guard. Response 1, protecting your world 24/7.
Hey, so mommy, who is going to do my wedding jollof?
Oh, Kwame. You know our secret, right?
Yeah. Efia.
Yes, me. I've got it.
Now add your Chino jollof mix.
The perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time. And there you have it, your original Ghana jollof.
Jollof Soko!
Jollof Soko! Tasty nye!
What is going on here?
Enjoy jollof the Ghana way. Gino jollof is made with the perfect blend of tomatoes, pepper, and fine herbs and spices to ensure a consistent taste every time.
This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to the Channel 1 Newsroom. Up next is Channel 1 Business with Netele Nete Ajao.
Channel 1 Business is brought to you by MTN and EcoBank.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you bank like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Let me tell you, you're welcome.
Thank you, Charles. You're meeting again?
Yes. Now, Sam George.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks determined to get the prices of DSTV to come down.
Yes.
I mean, well, I just think that we should be careful we don't send the wrong signals to the investor community.
If he's fighting for the good, at least, because those who use DSTV are complaining a lot.
Well, we want prices to reduce, though.
As the city is coming, is appreciating,
well,
so we need that.
Over.
Okay. Now, Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Sam George, has revealed that formal discussions have resumed with PayPal to secure full access to the global payment platform for users in the country. Speaking during the government's accountability series, the minister noted that engagements are currently ongoing with the Bank of Ghana and other key stakeholders to address compliance-related issues and facilitate a smooth rollout of PayPal services in Ghana.
On consumer and public interest protection efforts, I'll start with PayPal. The ministry has formally reopened engagements with PayPal to restore full access to its service for Ghanaian users. As of June 2025, PayPal's regional government relations team has issued Ghana a compliance roadmap outlining the technical, regulatory, and financial standards required for whitelist reinstatement. The ministry is working closely with the Bank of Ghana and other key stakeholders to fulfill these conditions and to ensure PayPal also meets the necessary requirements to operate in Ghana. This effort is a strategic priority to expand access to global digital payment platforms for freelancers, SMEs, startups, and the creative sector. Securing PayPal access will remove a long-standing barrier to participation in the global digital economy and expand financial inclusion and cross-border trade opportunities for millions of Ghanaians. We're working closely with the governor of the Bank of Ghana to ensure that PayPal is given access to our economy and our digital space. However, we'll insist that PayPal will comply with the regulations of the Bank of Ghana.
Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has officially imposed a 15% tariff on imports from several African nations, including Ghana, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. In a statement issued by the White House on Thursday, the administration said the new tariffs are part of the latest phase in President Trump's trade agenda, which marks a renewed shift towards protectionist policies. There's more in this report by Daniel Sakite.
The new tariff comes under executive orders of President Donald Trump, further modifying the reciprocal tariff rates. In a more aggressive stance, South Africa and Libya will be subject to a 30% tariff, while Tunisia will face a 25% on certain goods exported to the US. The tariffs are not limited to African nations. The United Kingdom will face a 10% tariff, India 25%, and Japan 15%, signaling a broader shift in US trade policy with implications for global commerce. But with a new wave of President Donald Trump's trade policy, which has seen a resurgence in protectionist measures, affects Ghana. Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama has been providing some answers at the Central Bank's 125th Monetary Policy Committee meeting.
The good part is our exports to the US, as a ratio of total exports is very small. It's just around 3.5%. So therefore, those tariff issues in terms of impact should be minimal going forward. But that said, we need to pay attention to the tariff issues because remember the AGOA and all the other, U.S. trade, schemes. Those were, good opportunities for us to exploit. And so, yes, we must continue to be interested in developing our exports to the U.S.
Now let's bring you an update on how the currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's all for Channel 1 Business. I am Netele Ajaho. Back to you, Charles.
Thank you very much, Netele. Let's do some more stories on the Channel 1 Newsroom. And the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC, has ordered the immediate closure of Nyakote University College of Holistic Medicine and Technology for operating without accreditation. The Commission has also given the institution until August 8, 2025 to provide evidence to support all its academic claims. In an interview with Channel 1 News, GTEC's Director of Corporate Affairs, Jerry Safo, says the university must halt all activities including student admissions and advertisements until it secures proper accreditation. Channel 1 News' Elizabeth Kabuki-Okanse has more in this report.
The shutdown directive follows the arrest of Rafo Nyankote, founder of the university, along with the institution's registrar and director, during a joint operation between GTEC and the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, of the Ghana Police Service. GTEC says the institution has been running without accreditation, clear violations of Ghana's tertiary education regulation.
We have asked the institution to shut down and provide evidence of same latest by the 8th of August. So they are to cease operations, as it were, and not admit any more new students until they have sought accreditation. We've also advised that should they wish to continue operations, then they are to initiate the accreditation processes immediately so that they can go through the processes for that to be done. So for now, they're supposed to shut down the institution.
In a separate directive, GTEC has also instructed Rafo Nyankote to stop using the title professor.
In addition to that, we want to inform Mr. Nyankote, we have actually informed him that his professorship has to be actually, he has to desist using the professorship as there is no evidence of having earned that title for him to be using it. So he's not supposed to use that professorship and is to actually issue a public disclaimer on that.
GTEC is also urging the public to be vigilant and verify the status of tertiary institution before enrolling. The Commission reaffirmed its commitment to sanitizing the sector and protecting students from institutions operating illegally.
Journalists in the Ashanti region are expressing concern over a disturbing rise in assaults on media professionals, especially at the hands of security personnel. They are calling for urgent action beyond mere press statements to safeguard press freedom and ensure their safety on the job. Channel 1 News' Ashanti regional correspondent Doris Lonta has more in this report.
While the Constitution promises press freedom, the reality on the ground is increasingly hostile, particularly from some of the very security agencies mandated to uphold those rights. In 2018, Lateef Idris of the Multimedia Group was brutally assaulted at the police headquarters. In 2021, Caleb Kuda of City News was manhandled by national security operatives for filming within what they described as a restricted zone. His colleague Zoe Abubeiduado was also detained by heavily armed SWAT officers in connection with the same incident. In 2025, Kwabena Jekumbanahene of GH1 TV and Star FM was assaulted by a police officer while covering the Ablikuma North Parliamentary election rerun. The most recent incident involves Carlos Kaloni of Joy News, who was physically attacked by military officers while reporting from a demolition site. These examples are part of a growing list of incidents that journalists in Ghana say reflect a worrying pattern of abuse and intimidation. Journalists in the Ashanti region say they now feel unsafe doing their job and are demanding accountability, not apologies.
Oftentimes when these things happen, they will tell us they are investigating, but at the end of the day, we don't see anything. The talk is becoming too much. We need to see action being done so that it can restore public confidence.
If it continues like that, and all we hear is that the president has called for investigation and that is the end, we don't hear what happens to whoever assaulted the journalist, then it emboldens the security personnel to be doing that. But if someone of them or one of them is either dismissed, sentenced, punished according to the law, then when they go on the field and they see that the media is also working, they will accord them the needed respect.
I will also encourage that we set up even a legal committee or a legal desk of the Ghana Journalists Association will be following up on all these attacks.
Journalists say that where there are concerns about unprofessional conduct, there are legal and administrative channels to seek redress, not violence. Criminologist Dr. Jones Opokuware of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology warns that unchecked abuse by security personnel could eventually spark public outrage and trigger a crisis that spirals out of control.
If you should look at all militaries all over the world, you could see proper reforms that have gone on in terms of military-civilian relations, in terms of how security agencies even relate to the public. Okay, and for some reasons, our security agencies, especially the military, they still seem very stuck.
Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Doris Lonta, Ashanti region.
Now to some heartbreaking news. The late former Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Joseph Kobna Ade-Coker, has been laid to rest at a private burial ceremony in the Central Region. Earlier, a state-assisted burial service was held in his honor at the forecourt of the State House in Accra. Channel 1 News' Jude Duncan was at the ceremony and reports.
A solemn gathering of mourners convened at the State House to bid farewell to Joseph Ade-Coker, a prominent figure in Ghana's politics. In attendance were President John Dramani Mahama and Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, along with government officials, senior members of the National Democratic Congress, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and representatives from Ghana's sporting community. Also present were loved ones and alumni of Adesadel College, united in grief to honor a man many described as principled and committed to public service. In a tribute read on his behalf by Special Aide Joyce Bawa-Mokhtari, President Mahama eulogized Mr. Ade-Coker as both a friend and a brother whose unwavering loyalty he cherished. Speaking to Channel 1 News, Vice Presidential Advisor and a former National Chairman of the NDC, Dr. Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, described the passing as a significant loss to the party.
I work very closely with Chairman Ade-Coker. As a national chairman, he was my regional chairman. And almost everywhere that a regional program was being organized in Greater Accra, he will ask me to accompany him. And so we work so closely to the extent that we even became like brothers, not only party comrades. And I remember very, very well during the COVID era, where there were challenges. We put our heads together with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and organized a number of activities. We defied the odd, and we visited people, we touched hearts, we distributed food items, we met with Christian community, the Muslim communities and others. And even in the process, he himself was struck by COVID. And it was just by the grace of God that he survived.
Ghana's ambassador to China, Kojo Bonsu, also paid tribute, describing Mr. Ade-Coker as a man who deeply loved his country and his party.
Apart from party, we are together. Very close friends. We went to all the World Cups. We went to all the African Cup of Nations. So he was not a party friend, but a very close friend. We did a lot of things together. But death, you can't do anything about death. So all that we do is our brother should rest in perfect peace, and may the good Lord handle him well for us. Ade was a strategist. So number one, we've lost a big strategist. He plans, he helped us do things for our elections, but we've lost one. So all the boys that he groomed would come and replace him. So well, it's a big loss.
The late former Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the NDC, Joseph Kobna Ade-Coker, has been largely described as one who loved the sports, particularly football, and his country Ghana dearly. His death has also been described as a great loss to not only his beloved National Democratic Congress, but also the country Ghana at large. Reporting from the State House here in Accra, Jude Duncan for Channel 1 News.
Well, this is still the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 TV. Still to come. National Sports Authority assures swift action to restore Baba Yara Stadium ahead of CAF competitions. Details in a bit. Please stay with us.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother Man Small. If you knew, it's your boy. Kill them all, kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the great. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha. While you're done for the day, someone is planning to start theirs. At every given second in the dead of night, an uninvited guest could turn all your hard work into a nightmare. But with Response 1's BizGuide monitored alarm, help is already on the way. Our state-of-the-art video verification means the moment your security is breached, we are watching, verifying the threat instantly. Our dedicated response team acts swiftly, ensuring that threats to your livelihood are stopped in their tracks. And with our rent-to-own plan, this unparalleled security is yours with an affordable monthly payment. Protect your business now. Pay as you earn. Join the hundreds of shop owners who trust Response 1 to protect their businesses. Don't wait for the worst to happen. Act now. Call Response 1 today or visit our website. Your business deserves the best defense.
Thank you for staying with the Channel 1 Newsroom. Next is Channel 1 Sports with Bernard Adom-Otchere. Hello, Abeku.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm a miracle. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, Charlie. What do you have for us?
Well, the National Sports Authority says our facilities will be ready, especially the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Let's get into it, shall we now? The Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yampo Fuankra, says efforts are underway to restore the Babaya Sports Stadium ahead of the national assignment and upcoming CAF Interclub competitions. With the Bieni Gold Stars and Kumasi Ashanti preparing for their continental campaigns in the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup respectively, the current state of the stadiums falls short of CAF standards. Both clubs may be forced to seek alternative venues, but the National Sports Authority insists it remains committed to addressing the situation promptly.
The last time we were here, we did talk about the Babaya Sports Stadium being rehabilitated, especially the pitch. Since then, it's quite it's deteriorated to the state it is in now. There are a number of factors that's led to that. Mainly, obviously, being to the lack of funds and also the lack of artificial water, which naturally would need for the pitch. If there's no rain, we have to make sure the grass is pampered and treated. So we know there are upcoming assignments, both for clubs and also potentially for the national team. But as of now, Babaya does not qualify to host any major international tournament, and we need to work at that very quickly.
Now let's get to talk about a sensitive matter. Moroccan and PSG right back Ashraf Hakimi could face up to 15 years in prison if indicted and convicted of rape following a formal request by French prosecutor to advance the case to trial. The move comes more than a year after the initial accusation was made earlier in 2023. The Nanterre prosecutor's office has asked for the PSG defender to be indicted before the Haute Discipline Criminal Court. While the request does not imply guilt, it signals that prosecutors believe there is enough evidence for the case to proceed. The final decision now rests with the investigating judge. Well, that's the very latest from the world of sports, and I am Bernard Ade-Coker.
Grateful to Abeku for this sports. Let's now head to the Upper West region, where heavy rains on Saturday night, July 26, 2025, triggered widespread flooding across communities in Wa. The downpour, described as one of the heaviest in years, displaced dozens of families, submerged major roads and cut off areas such as Zingu, Kambali and Kumbiehi from the rest of the municipality. In response, Wa Municipal Chief Executive Alhaji Issa Nura Danwana has directed that all structures illegally built on waterways and wetlands be marked for possible demolition. The move forms part of measures to avert future disasters.
Several suburbs, including Kambali, Kumbiehi, Choko, Doble, and Zingu, were among the hardest hit after hours of torrential rainfall overwhelmed drainage systems, flooding homes, farmlands, and roads. Dozens of families were forced to evacuate, while others watched helplessly as floodwaters destroyed property. In Zingu, the only road linking the community to Wa Town was washed away, cutting off access to essential services like healthcare, markets, and schools.
We've also realized that people also build on waterways and there's this blockade. So I've tasked my engineers and then the building inspectors to mark these particular houses. And we are thinking of evacuating them or letting them move on their own.
Abdul Wahab, Assembly Member for Zingu and presiding member of the Wa Municipal Assembly, expressed great concern for his constituents' safety and welfare.
That road has been an albatross on our necks in almost 2-3 months. The road always cut off, and then we cannot have access to one main town where most of the activities have been taking place. So we are appealing to the authorities to come and give us a lasting solution.
Residents of Zingu are urging authorities to repair a collapsed bridge that has disrupted access to farms and markets. They warn of looming health and economic crisis if swift intervention is not provided, and are calling for improved infrastructure to prevent future disasters.
The culverts are small for so they need to enlarge them so that the water can be moving freely.
When it's market day, the ladies or whoever is going to work cannot pass this bridge. They have to pass through the other villages before they can go to work and make their business up. So we are appealing, please come to our aid.
Well, that'll be all for this edition of the Channel One Newsroom. Do visit our website, channel1newsonline.com, for more information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel One TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Channel One TV. Download the Channel One News app and on Google Play Store and the App Store. I am Charles Osukumi. Thank you for watching.